Behind the Mic is live on this Tuesday night, July the 24th, 2018, at Patrick Molloy's down on the pier in Hermosa Beach. Brad Daly's Keith Jackson coming to you on a busy night in the world of sports, Keith. Lots to get into this evening. We will begin at the top here in just a second with the huge news, the mega deal today, the contract extension for Rams running back Todd Gurley. Essentially becomes the richest running back as far as guaranteed money is concerned in NFL history. It's shocking to a lot of people, yours included. We'll touch on it in just a bit. We've also got to talk about today some big NBA news. We talked about this off the air earlier. Dwayne Wade offered to play in China. What? Crazy? Should he take the deal? Should he not take it? Maybe it's not so crazy. We'll discuss it coming up in just a bit. Also tonight, we'll get into some more NFL news. The Patriots are shopping wide receiver Malcolm Mitchell. It's somewhat of a paper-thin wide receiver core as it currently stands right now to begin with. Are they doing the right thing in Foxborough? Are they being smart about it? We'll discuss. Also, Tiger Woods this weekend at the British Open. It was a late night for me on Saturday night, Keith, so I didn't wake up as early as some other people here in LA, but I was able to catch the end of it, and I couldn't believe he actually had the lead at the final round of a major for the first time seemingly in forever. It was great to see. Everyone is Team Tiger right now, and it's a lot of fun, and we'll talk about it towards the end of tonight's show. But first, though, we got to start with the big news, like I said at the top here, and that is Todd Gurley becoming essentially the richest running back in NFL history as far as guaranteed money is concerned. $45 million guaranteed, Keith, to a running back who's only been in the league for a couple of seasons on a team that seemingly is poised to have its biggest season in 2018 that they've had in a very long time for that Rams franchise. And I don't know. I'm curious to get your thoughts, but this is how I look at it. Running backs anymore have become a dime a dozen. Look at the Philadelphia Eagles. They were able to win the Super Bowl last year with the likes of LeGarrette Blount and Jay Ajayi. Yeah. They did not pay those guys anywhere in the neighborhood of $45 million in guaranteed money. So that's how I look at it. I think it's a whole lot of money to a running back, and I don't know if I'm willing to pony up that type of change. As good of a back as Gurley might be and might still have the potential to be here as he's just getting started with his NFL career, no way am I paying that much money to that type of player.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, but you know what it does? It ups the ante on these other running backs out here. You know, Le'Veon Bell has an issue with his contract every year. He's complaining about it. He wants a big contract, and now this right here is just put the tipping on the iceberg. It just shows me that basically his mindset is for Le'Veon Bell's sake, and I know he's came out and said something, but Steelers, if you don't pony up, he's out of there by the end of the season.
He's made that real clear.
You know, he's going to be out of there. He wants a big mega deal. And, look, for the Rams' sake, Sean McVay is very excited about the season, this upcoming season. They reported to camp just recently today. I think the veterans reported to camp today. And I think they started up this week or this Friday.
Yeah.
And they're ready to go, man. And I think what you're going to see is, look, Todd Gurley has a lot of pressure on him right now. You got to come out and you got to perform. You got the money you wanted. Now you got to really go out there and perform well. I mean, last year was an okay season in my book for Todd Gurley. But this year, for that amount of money, you got to be breaking some records, man, now. And you got to be breaking some records. You should be averaging. You should be like Brandon Jacobs, 6 yards to carry.
Oh, yeah.
Automatically.
A pop for that much?
Yeah, for that much, I want 6 yards to carry, And so I think, that's what you have to do, and he has to now go out there and do those things. So I think they're excited. I think it's an exciting time for the Rams. They're definitely in play of being one of the top-tier teams in the NFC. And, I think it's really ponied up the whole deal with these now. A lot of these veteran running backs, even the young guys that are coming in, are going to be saying, hey, if this is the amount of money that NFLs are going to be giving up, then, when contract time comes, I'm going to want more.
And that's the next part to this, right? The likes of David Johnson.
Yes.
Zeke Elliott at some point down the line.
Yep.
This is the benchmark now. This is the standard for backs. And to me, it's just crazy because you open up a Pandora's box going forward.
It opens up a whole nother can of worms, man. That's just, Odell Beckham for the receiving core wants a mega deal of what the quarterbacks are getting. And is it well deserving? I don't know. To me, I don't feel it is, for the simple fact that you haven't done Megatron numbers. You haven't done what Megatron has done, Calvin Johnson. I'm talking about who's retired. You haven't won a Super Bowl. You haven't gotten to that point. You haven't been a winning team in order to do that. What Le'Veon Bell has on the upside from everybody else is, hey, he's been to a Super Bowl. He's won a Super Bowl, I believe. And he's won a Super Bowl. And, look, he's always in contentions. His team is always in contentions of threatening the Patriots or the AFC. So they don't get over the top. But, I think right now Jacksonville is above them. But they do, and that magnitude, they're top 3 in the AFC. Let's just say that, hands down. And so that's my whole thing is Todd Gurley, those guys have now become, look, the Rams exited in the first round of the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
They exited around. So what are we expecting next season from them with the Todd Gurley contracts? Will it do justice if that team gets past the first round, makes to the second round next year? I think, okay, that would do justice. Now we improved, and it's a stepping stone. And that amount of money we're giving him.
If he's getting paid this month, for me, he needs to get 1,000 rushing yards.
Yes.
At least.
Absolutely.
Maybe 1,500.
Absolutely. And Sean McVay's got to utilize him, to me, and that's also based on the offensive coordinator and the head coach. If you're going to pay this guy this amount of money, then to be honest with you, out of 4 downs, he needs two of those plays need to go to him. Let's just be realistic.
He should be an every down back.
Yes.
With that type of cash coming his way.
Yes.
Again, though, the thing is, Keith, even if, let's say, Todd Gurley does manage to have 1,000 or 1,500-yard rushing season in this 18 campaign coming up for the Rams, let's just say the Rams go on to win the Super Bowl this year. You're going to have a hard time convincing me that in the process, Todd Gurley is going to be the superstar on this team or the league MVP. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make any sense to me because history has told us in the last several seasons now, it is not the age of the running back
but
anymore.
You know what,
you don't
Brad?
need that big back. You don't need that powering, bruising back to win Super Bowls anymore, to win championships.
But this is what backs are saying, and this is, in the eyes of a running back. I think the eyes of a running back, they're going to say, look, we get hit the most. We're probably the ones that don't last the longest in the NFL.
I disagree. As far as getting hit the most?
Well, the line, of course. But they're going to say we probably are the ones that don't survive the longest in the NFL. And that's statistically, that's true. Running backs don't last too long in the NFL.
Right.
And so their thing is, I'm going to get as much money as I possibly can while I'm here, while I'm in the league, because – your body can only take so much. We're not football players, but I can imagine we've had conversations with football players, and we will continue to have conversations with them. I can tell you, man, the treatment that they have to go through night in and night out after that Sunday. I'll break it down to you. Mercedes told me this one day. Mercedes Lewis, who's now with Green Bay Packers, I believe, told me. He said, "This is how a day goes for NFL players, us." After Sunday's game, we're going for treatment on that Monday. We'll go into treatment on Monday. We'll do treatment We'll go treatment Monday and Tuesday, and we'll go into film. We'll treatment Monday and Tuesday, and we'll do film Wednesday. We'll do film Wednesday of the next team.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday, we'll do a little bit more treatment. If you're still hurt, you do more treatment on Thursday of your body. By Friday, we're out on the field running, going through hits. We're doing drills on Friday. Saturday, we're doing that walkthrough, or if you're not, you're traveling. That Saturday, wherever you're going to, whatever city you're going to, whatever state you're traveling, and then Sunday, you go and play, and you do it all over again. Now, don't let it be a Thursday game. That is he was like the worst.
Oh, man.
Don't be a Sunday and come in Thursday.
We know all players and all coaches are on the same page.
Not a fan with Thursdays.
Exactly.
So that's he bring me a whole breakdown on what it is and what it's like. So he was like, man, your body really doesn't have that much time to really recover. It's like throwing an ice tub and really freeze it. That's what it is. So you got to be in tip-top shape, man. This is the time, the training camp, and they think it's the off-season to really get your body right. And usually – they're saying usually those months when they take off, that's the time that they really don't do much, but really vacation, because of the fact that their body's still recovering. It takes months to recover from all the hits and everything that's been going on. So, when you look at that, man, I I don't fault the Rams for giving him that amount of money. I don't fault him for going for it. I think you go for as much amount, like anything in these workplaces and anything you do, you try to get as much as you can while you're there.
Yeah, from the player's perspective, absolutely. They should go in with that mentality. You're right, Keith. Statistically speaking, running backs have a very, very short shelf life in the NFL. I don't believe that their position is at most risk for taking big hits. I still think receivers are probably in the position for that. And I think receivers are probably a little more earning, a little more, if they make the case for bigger paydays, I guess it makes more sense from that standpoint. They're taking more of a risk. I mean, let's face it, though, all these guys are taking risks when they go out there.
Yeah.
My bottom line is, like I said at the get-go here, I'm just not paying that much money if I'm a GM right now, if I'm part of the front office, if I'm any of these owners, I'm not paying that much money to a running back who, I mean, it's not like we're talking about Barry Sanders here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, maybe Todd Gurley will become Barry Sanders one day, but to give him $45 million guaranteed when I know probably I can help my team better off to spread that money around elsewhere on the field to other positions, there's no way. Because, again, even if the Rams win the Super Bowl next year, there's no way you can convince me that Todd Gurley is going to be the league MVP and the Super Bowl MVP of that team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's my biggest reason why there's no way I could give $45 million guaranteed to a running back at this point in time. 4-year contract, $60 million spread out over those 4 years, and once again, $45 million in that guaranteed money. It's just too much. I can't do it. It's breaking the bank for me.
Yeah, I totally get it. He did what we call a Chris Paul.
Yes, he did.
Basketball. But he did a Chris Paul. But the
Rams are tapped out officially now.
Yeah, they're officially tapped out. But hey, man, they got it. That's a lot of money to give to one player. But I mean, who's the type of player you would give that type of money to? Tom Brady, guys who's kind of been in the NFL, that's won Super Bowls for you in your franchise.
Yeah, if you win one Super Bowl, yes, I think, and you're a franchise type of a quarterback. Absolutely, most important position in all of sports. I don't think anyone's really going to debate that. I would have no problem giving that type of money out to that type of player, like you said, like a Brady, like a Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, you name it. I would even be willing to give that money to Jared Goff, let's say.
So if there's any other running back out there right now, would you give that type of money for?
No, I wouldn't, because I know I don't need that type of back to win a Super Bowl anymore. Maybe there was a time and place for it, and there was. We can look back through history in the late 90s, Terrell Davis with the Broncos. Yeah, sure. There's definitely guys in the last couple of decades, but in this last decade, last 10 years, there's really nobody that stands out. Even Jerome Bettis was maybe the last big-time bruising power running back in the NFL, and he wasn't even it was the last year of his career in which he won the Super Bowl with the Pittsburgh Steelers there in 2005, 2006 NFL season. So I can't think of one that has really, I mean, even Marshawn Lynch wasn't a big cog. I mean, he was a big part of Seattle's Super Bowl winning team over the Broncos a couple of seasons ago, but he wasn't the reason they won that championship, because their defense was suffocating.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like, I can't think of a running back that has single-handedly put his team over the top. LT, LaDainian Tomlinson, had a great career with the Chargers in his prime, but they never won anything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just why I wouldn't. There's no one, to answer your question, there's no one I would pay that much money to, because I know I don't need it. I can easily go and win a Super Bowl with Jay Ajayi, LeGarrette Blount, and Nick Foles, my backup quarterback in there.
Yeah, you got a point. You have a point. To me, Todd Gurley, look, he's a high-paying back. I think he's probably top 10 in the NFL
He's
right
good.
now.
It's not taking anything away from his talent level at all.
Look,
He's a good solid back.
I'll just say this.
I'm just saying I just wouldn't pay that much money to him.
The agent did a great job getting him this money.
He did
his job. He did his job. And, hey, I mean, if you're going to maximize and get the most out of your money, but it does hang time the Rams in a way where it's like, look, you're really going out on a limb. You're basically saying this is the player of our franchise. This is the face of our franchise, this guy, Todd Gurley. And you're going to give him that amount of money. And if you're going to go with that over like a Jared Goff, I think it's going to be tough to keep somebody like a Jared Goff when his payday comes up and he's going to want a lot more money and he's going to be the star quarterback. You want to keep that. It's going to be tough to keep. with that amount of money you're giving up right now. So it could bite the Rams at the end of the day, but right now they're happy. They're excited about what they have over there. A lot of the Rams fans are excited about this season, upcoming season. So we'll see how everything kind of pans out. I think all our questions and all our concerns will be asked at the mid-season for sure. Don't get hurt, knocked on wood, Todd Gurley, please.
Just getting started here on Behind the Mic, live from Patrick Molloy's in Hermosa Beach, down by the pier. On the other side, we'll dive into some more NFL news. The Patriots, they're apparently shopping Malcolm Mitchell. What's going on with that? Is he healthy? Is he not? We'll get into that. And also later tonight, Dwayne Wade is getting an offer to play in China. Should he take it? Also, Tiger Woods' weekend at the British Open. Oh, so close. We will discuss that and more. Behind the Mic, back after this.
There's a threat targeting America. One that's growing fast, but may still be hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org. Brought to you by the Stephen and Alexandra Cohen Foundation and this station.
Every 17 minutes, Make-A-Wish makes the impossible possible. They tame dragons. They bring Saturn to Earth. They help superheroes save entire cities. They even make unicorns fly. All to give children the strength they need to fight their critical illnesses. Every wish takes muscle. Help us make sure every wish comes true. Join us at wish.org.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick and proud aunt. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing. But not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. 1 in 6. That little girl sitting alone at the playground, she can't play like the other kids. She doesn't have the energy because she's hungry. School lunch will be her only meal today. It breaks my heart that this is the reality in our country, but it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. This food is then provided to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about using your imagination, learning, and having fun. These children shouldn't have to miss out on simply being a kid because they're hungry. To find out how you can help end childhood hunger in your community, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Dave, what are you doing?
Just sending a gift to Dave 2037.
Who?
Me in the future. I save a little money from every paycheck as a gift to Dave 2037, so he can spend it on things like anti-gravity boots or a hologram Doberman, something cool like that. I think Dave 2037 deserves it. He worked hard. What are you getting Steve 2037?
I guess I was thinking Steve 2037 would just fend for himself.
Well, all right, but don't expect to be borrowing my anti-gravity boots.
You want to have money in your future? You got to start saving now. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
Hey, let's just hope Steve 2037 doesn't get his hands on a cool time machine, because he is going to come back here and knock some sense into you.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Behind the Mic with Brad Dalius.
Welcome back inside Patrick Molloy's in Hermosa Beach. Brad and Keith hanging out on this Tuesday night. BehindTheMicShow.com. Download that official Behind the Mic app. Streaming live right now all across social media. Great to have you with us. Before the break, we were talking about the big mega, I'm calling it the mega contract extension today, Keith. Todd Gurley, running back from The Los Angeles Rams getting $45 million in guaranteed money over the next 4 years. Pretty crazy to a lot of people. Other people think it's just about right. Seems like it's somewhat split right down the middle. It's a fascinating debate. It will roll on, obviously. Rams opening up training camp this week, as is everyone else across the NFL, Keith. Football's back, baby. Training camp starting. Preseason just right around the corner.
Knocks.
Well,
Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks as well. Who's going to be on Hard Knocks this year?
Oh, God, the Cleveland. Oh, my gosh.
Browns. Yes.
Well, you know what?
And we do applaud that because that's going to be obviously highly entertaining in itself.
Highly entertaining. And you know what else? Just on a side note, Josh Gordon they're saying he's going to rehab.
Yeah, I heard that.
During training camp, so he's not going to be in training camp. I call BS on that. I call BS on that because they Hard Knocks when they really want to get. I think that's a PR move. They don't want him involved in Hard Knocks and stuff. It does make entertainment though, guys. I mean, how you already messed up on your draft. I can get on that. I can do a long time on that, Brad. I can talk about their draft and their picks. And I don't want to get mad. So let's just kind of move on right now. But yes, I'm ready and I'm interested to watch Hard Knocks Cleveland Browns because I want to know what were they thinking when they decided to go with a quarterback for the first pick they could have got in the fourth round, I believe. Was it fourth round or third round? I mean, fourth pick or third pick?
Oh, yeah. Overall, they could have got Saquon Barkley at one, and then they could have got
Baker Mayfield at 3.
If they wanted to, or they could have got Josh Rosen, Sam Darnold. Yeah. They could have had their pick.
I believe they had the fourth pick, first and 4.
Yes.
Right? They could have got that at the fourth pick. So what were they thinking? I can't wait. Moving on.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Also, by the way, the Hall of Fame game is coming up in just a couple of weeks, and obviously that includes then the Hall of Fame induction ceremony weekend. Looking forward to that. Ray Lewis, Brian Dawkins, a bunch of other guys well deserving of that honor. And to come out of that, our debut show, Keith, on KABC on Monday, August the 6th, we will interview Tim Brown, NFL Hall of Famer, Heisman Trophy winner from back in the day at Notre Dame. Looking forward to that. That's going to be a lot of fun talking to Tim about a whole bunch of things. I'm thinking we will probably touch on T.O. and whatever drama surrounds, because we know some drama will surround T.O. that day. What I'm looking forward to is he going to actually have this aired somewhere? I mean, just not live streaming, but is it going to be on some kind of lower end network? I'm actually kind of looking forward to the T.O. drama to see how that whole thing plays out.
You know what else I'm also interested in talking to him about also is the Raiders in terms of what did he expect for them this upcoming season, as well as, Brad, I want to get his insight on some of these top receivers in the league because he was a top receiver himself. In this day and age, what is he considered a top receiver, and some of his thoughts on players like Odell and Julio Jones, just so to speak, and some other guys. So I'm kind of interested in that too.
It's going to be fun. Once again, Tim Brown on Behind the Mic, our debut KABC show, Monday, August the 6th. Definitely be there. Let's get back to some more NFL news. We teased this before the break, Keith. The Patriots are shopping wide receiver Malcolm Mitchell, and this obviously leads most people to believe that he's still hurt and he's not fully recovered from the injury from last year that sidelined him for the entire 2017 campaign. But at the same time, this is a Patriots wide receiver depth chart that's paper thin at this point. Who's your best receiver right now? Chris Hogan?
Yeah.
Without Edelman for the first couple of games?
I'm really I'm a little concerned with the Patriots right now. It's sometimes people are like, oh, you're Patriot fans. No.
Unless they know something we don't know.
Unless they know something we don't know, but the depth in that, it doesn't look good. They don't have that deep ball threat right now. They don't. They have Cordell Peterson. They picked him up, Patterson.
But he's been more of a return guy anyhow.
Yeah, he's been a return guy, but, I haven't seen too much sightings in him, and I'm going to tell you this. Don't pick him on your fantasy, I'll tell you that much. Do not pick Cordell on your fantasy.
Yeah, I would stay away at the moment.
Stay away. So, it's Mitchell was that type of guy. Look, remember that year? That's the season. He had a breakout year. Even his rookie season, he came out. He had a breakout year. Unfortunately, he got injured towards the end. He won a Super Bowl with the Patriots, but
some big catches,
and things like that. And that's why I thought about and I was like, okay, when he got hurt, we really had to have that spark plug person ever since then. And Julian Edelman and Amendola were great, the Brandon Cooks, I thought that was a great pickup, and then we ended up after the Super Bowl. They said, "The hell with Brandon Cooks, get his ass out of here."
Yeah, they didn't want any more parts of Brandon Cooks.
No part of Brandon Cooks.
I don't know why.
I don't understand why. When he's done, he had a phenomenal season with us, but they must know something we don't know. And I'm not going to doubt Bill Belichick and his coaching ability because it's the best, or one of the best, so to speak. But it's sad to see someone like Malcolm Mitchell who they're shopping when you know what he's capable of doing and what he can do. So to me, it must be the injury is really, really, really bad, and it's really lingering on what is going to hinder for what the Patriots are trying to do. So hopefully, the Patriots can. There's a guy named Dez Bryant out there that we would love to have. I mean, I know he wants to be in the NFC, but I'll tell you one thing: he would love to play with the Patriots and Tom Brady. I can tell you that much. I mean, you can get him for the minimum probably. Why you not sign him? I don't know what we're waiting for. If we're gonna wait for somebody else from camp gets hurt and they decide to pull the deal, I would try to get him in camp now. Dez Bryant's just gonna be sitting and waiting for his time.
Well, that's the thing. Maybe they have privately. Maybe they've taken a look.
So,
maybe
Brad.
they've at least talked.
I hope so.
We know he hasn't at least officially been there publicly visible to the public, but maybe behind closed doors they've had some kind of sit-down meetings. I mean, at this point, look, Dez Bryant doesn't want to go to training camp for anybody. We know that.
Yeah.
So, if anything, it's going to be, if he's got anything left in the tank, it's going to be towards the end of the preseason, heading into the regular season. You would think, though, sooner versus later, if he's going to go somewhere such as New England, where the playbook is always notoriously very complicated, it takes a while to get on the same page with Brady, and it's not a 1-2-3 process. We know that over the years with other guys they've brought in. But at this point in time, why not? Because, bless you, it's going to be a whole lot of 87 Brady to Gronkowski at the beginning of the season if they don't really sign anyone else, especially during that first month without Julian Edelman with the 4-game suspension there. During the month of September, you're going to see a whole lot of Gronk. And like we've talked about so many times in this show, when was the last time Gronk was healthy for a whole season?
Yeah.
It was a long time ago.
It's been a long time ago.
There's no reason to believe he's going to be healthy for a full 16-game slate this year.
And honestly, man, I wouldn't want to put that pressure on him. Remember, this guy was considering retiring after this past season. He was talking about retirement. And you got to kind of take that serious. And the reason why is because he got people in his ear and everybody's saying, look, you can go to Hollywood and make just as much money or just more without getting hit and being in a hospital every year doing surgery or repairing something. That takes a toll on your body after so many times you're going to the hospital and doing stuff. So you got to find a way to protect him, protect Brady, and protect these players at all costs. I mean, and you're already thin as it is, and I just don't think the Malcolm Mitchell decision was a great decision unless you're going to get a receiver for him, a top-tier receiver for him.
I can't see it.
But I just can't see somebody
who's going to take the risk
of someone is injured and not too well. And I just don't know, man. I just think you have to find out and see what you can get for him, but I don't think you're going to get much. And then knowing the Patriots, to be honest with you, they're the type of people who are like, oh, we're going to trade Michael Mitchell and get a DB. They won't go for another offensive guy.
That's true. They would do something like that.
Why did you do that? So,
and here's the thing, though. We've seen this story before with them. They're down with so many guys who are down and out for the count. People seem to count them out. And even when they've gone through wide receiver overhauls in the past couple of seasons, they've always found a way to figure it out sooner versus later with this team and with what they have. Look, I like Jordan Matthews. I think he's a fine receiver. He's probably at the very best a 3 on the depth chart for a team.
Yeah.
Probably a 3-4 type of receiver. But he's a guy I think can fit into this offense and be a cog into what they do offensively. But he's not going to be your main guy, obviously. And I think the loss of Danny Amendola to free agency is really going to sting them in September without Edelman. Now, when Edelman comes back, I think they're actually going to be okay, Keith, because you got Edelman, you got Hogan. You would think Hogan's going to take over.
You got Dorsett.
Yeah, Philip Dorsett, who was a bit of a bust in Indy, but
he's done well with us, though.
Yeah, he's been okay. He's caught some balls when he's been asked to. They haven't asked him to do a whole lot. But the guy I think they're going to really look to ask a whole lot more of this season than last season is Dwayne Allen, who in 2017, his first year, did not do a whole lot for them. How many balls did he catch? It was less than 5.
Yeah. You know who else? Let me tell you who else they're going to that we're not talking about that we should be is Kenny Britt. How much of a role is he going to play for the Patriots this year? We got him late last year in the season, but he's a big, tall receiver, and possibly maybe he's that guy that they're going to go and lean on to. We don't know. We'll see. Maybe he will have a Matt Kemp type of year.
I like that. I like that optimism there.
Yeah, maybe he'll have a Matt Kemp
Could
type
be.
of year. But, I hope that if the Patriots are shopping Malcolm Mitchell, which has been reported, I hope they get something really good for him because they're really thin in that receiving core. And like you said, with Julian Edelman out and then you shopping Malcolm Mitchell, your receiving core is only Chris Hogan, Kenny Britt, who's still injured right now, they're saying, and Matthew and Philip Dorsett. That's all you got. And that's not a lot. That's not a lot at all.
No, it's thin right now. And like I said, there's definitely going to be some growing pains to start off this season. You just hope that Sony Michel out of the backfield is a big hit of guys that they were able to select in this past draft. They're probably going to ask him to do a lot. Him and you mentioned James White off the air. Look for him to have even a bigger role with losing Deion Lewis to the Titans in free agency. So there's a lot. Again, the good news for them is they're still playing in the AFC East, where the second best quarterback is Ryan Tannehill, and that's still a big drop-off from Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And you still have big-time question marks in Buffalo and also with the New York Jets as well. So that's a good thing they got going, and the AFC is significantly inferior to the NFC at this point.
Yeah, but you have to say this. The NFC took it this past season, the Super Bowl, so they are getting they're getting stronger for sure. The thing about the NFC, though, Brad, is they're going to take each other out. They're definitely going to take each other out. Wow, look at that rain, the Dodgers game right now in Philly.
It's
crazy, and they're in the 10th inning. They're tied.
It is literally pouring. How about that, right?
That's insane.
They've had some rain delays along the East Coast today for some of these games. This game, I think they just played straight through in Philly. I don't think they've been delayed at all. And it is absolutely pouring right now. You're right about that.
Yeah, tied for 4.
When I was in Philly, Keith, a couple of weeks ago, and checking out the Phillies-Orioles game, and I had the opportunity to talk a little bit on sports radio WIP there locally in Philly. It was raining a little bit that night, and you had some lightning, and it's the East Coast. 1 minute it's sunny, the next.
Look at that, Brad.
It's a monsoon.
It's crazy. It's pouring. Like, you can see it on TV how hard it is. I mean, everybody's pretty much, there's people, it's still in the stands, but there's people, most of the stands is empty. They're like, hey, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
But
heading for the exits.
But back to what we were saying, I mean, Sony Mitchell, yeah, he's going to be a good player with Deion Lewis leaving. They got Burkhead still, who's
another
solid
guy no one's talking about.
Nobody's talking about. I think, like you had mentioned off the air, Dwayne Allen is probably going to have a bigger role this year. He's going to have to, for the simple fact that you don't have Martellus Bennett anymore, who's retired. And so hopefully you get one of these tight ends to step up. And, hopefully they got some guys here that in the front end that will protect Brady because he's getting older and brittle. So you got to protect him for sure. But, yeah, you're right. They got to have another deep. Look, Brady likes throwing the deep ball. And what my concern is when they run up against the Jacksonvilles.
Yes.
That's my concern.
Like we said, and like I just said a moment ago, the AFC is definitely inferior to the NFC at this point,
Yeah.
but the exception would be the Jaguars. The Steelers, I mean, on paper, they're great. If they can ever get it together on the field, they're right up there with the very best.
Yeah.
And after those three, Patriots, Steelers, and the Jaguars, there is a bit of a drop-off, but I would say Tennessee stock is rising big time.
Up.
The Houston Texans, with a healthy Deshaun Watson, should be much better this year.
And let's not remember how tough they were to beat last year when Watson did play and the Patriots almost lost that game. They almost lost against them.
Yeah, New England had so many close calls at the beginning of the season last year.
Deshaun Watson was a problem for the New England Patriots. And I don't expect anything less from him. And then you got the return of J.J. Watt, who's going to come back. It's going to be an interesting year. Everybody's trying to knock off the Patriots, and in terms of in the AFC, and then everybody's going to try to dethrone, of course, the Philadelphia Eagles. So, and that's in the NFC. But yes, I do think that in order for the Patriots to do what they need to do. They need that. Now, you also need that type of dog, that stud receiver, because Julian Edelman, the separation he's going to try to have to get, how hard he's going to have to work. You need that deep ball threat so he's able to do those things. If you're not, they're just going to press up on you. Like I said, these guys are older, and you're playing against a younger and an experienced group with the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's going to be a tough task to do. And so, I'm hoping that they got something up their sleeve and they're going to get some either younger guys, some fresh legs there, or you get somebody in there who's going to be a deep ball threat that you have to respect. And to me, that type of person is a Dez Bryant, who's free agent.
You would think he's got to have something left. There's no way he fell off the cliff this fast.
Dude, he fell off the cliff because he was getting, number one, he's getting doubled up. Number two is
no help in Dallas.
Yeah, no help.
There was no one around him.
Dude, that wasn't his receiver. Let's be honest with you. They went to Jason Witten most of the time. Jason Witten got the ball most of the time, and he wasn't the number one option anymore. After he got hurt, I'm going blank. Give me, what's his name? The quarterback for Dallas.
Tony Romo or Dak Prescott now?
Prescott, his favorite receiver was not Dez Bryant. He didn't go to Dez Bryant. You always have that favorite type of person who you go to. Dak Prescott did not go to Dez Bryant enough because he was afraid to throw with the double teams, and it was frustrating for Dez. So I can see that, he went to more of Zeke. He went to Jason Witten for most of the time, but he was afraid to throw the doubles to Dez Bryant. And Dez Bryant was doubled all the time, and it left open their other receivers, Terrence Williams, and left open all those guys. So, with the addition to Dez Bryant going to the New England Patriots, think about it. Now you can't double with Julian Edelman and leave Dez Bryant and Gronkowski. That's going to be a hard double, man. You can't double those guys.
No, forget about it. In the red zone, are you kidding me? That'd be a nightmare for opposing defenses.
That's just going to open up more options for Chris Hogan and Philip Dorsett. Those type of guys who run in the slot. I mean, it just makes sense to me. So hopefully, Malcolm Mitchell was the fastest receiver you had on that squad. You lose him, you better get somebody who's explosive for sure. You need it.
Patriots got a long way to go, obviously, to get that wide receiver depth to where it needs to be. We'll find out that pretty soon. Once again, training camp opens across the NFL in just a couple of days. Keith and I are beyond stoked. We know you are as well. Let's switch gears now, though, and talk a little NBA news. Off the court today, Dwayne Wade, Keith, offered to play in China over a couple of seasons. A pretty lucrative deal for a player who is in the twilight years of his career. Yeah. And to be able to get that much money, the question is, obviously, should he do it? Should he take it?
He's not going to take it.
Should he take it, though?
Should he take it? No. No. Dwayne Wade, to me, he's not a guy that needs to go overseas. That's like telling, Dwayne Wade is going to be a Hall of Famer. Let's just say it. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
I don't think no one's going to dispute that.
And I don't think that type of player, it's just like Kobe Bryant going overseas. I think it tarnishes their career as an NBA superstar. They're superstars. It's different if you have somebody like a Brandon Jennings who's with those type of players. Stephon Marbury, who was a star, but then he went to the overseas and he's done very well.
Yeah.
It's a little different, but Dwayne Wade, Dwayne Wade's got businesses out in China. He's making money. He's done his money. He's got a lot of money up from China, but he doesn't need to go to China for 3 years and play 3 years. And look, that's really, to be honest with you, that takes away from him. His son's now in high school. Those 3 years him playing, he's like LeBron James. He wants to see his son play. He's been involved with his family more. Those years you don't get back. He wants to be close to his family and watch his kid play. I think going to China just takes away from all that. You're going to miss his whole basketball season, his growth, his prom, all those type of things to play ball. I don't think that's a good move, and I don't think he's going to make that move. And on top of that, you got a wife, Gabrielle Union's in Hollywood, and mine going back and forth. I think it's now they're like, look, you had your time, now it's our time. And I don't see it happening. It's a great offer. And
3 years, $25 million.
And China, that's one of the top teams. That is the top team in the league in China overseas. That's the top league out there. And they have that. They can make those type of deals and those type of money, but he don't need it, and he's not going to do it. So I think it's a great offer, but Dwayne Wade will either, like he said, finish out his career in Miami, South Beach, or some people think he'll go to the Lakers and play with LeBron James, which I would also see that could possibly happen for the simple fact that Gabrielle does a lot of shows out here in L.A.
Once again, the LA effect.
Yeah, the LA effect. I can see that happening. And then, Dwayne Wade's son, he's fine in South Beach right now. But I think Dwayne is a loyal guy. His heart is Miami. He loves South Beach, and he's going to want to stay there. He knows that he's going to have a statue in front of that center, United Airway, the Airway Center out there. He knows he's going to have a statue out front. So I don't think he's going to take it. I think he's going to stay right in Miami and do what he does and end his career there.
Who's a player that, if they would have gotten an offer like this at the end of his career, would have really benefited from going to playing in an overseas for like a China or like a Lithuania? You know what I mean?
Who was a player I think would benefit more?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to have to go with Isaiah Thomas.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Why? Because NBA's not giving him his money.
Yeah, we're seeing that right now.
It's a shame to see that this guy we talked about this on the show before, that just 2 years ago, this guy was in contention to be the MVP of the team, MVP of the league. And yes, he had a hip injury. Yes, he shouldn't have probably played on it, but he's still a star player in the league, and he's not getting his money. He has to now again prove himself to get that something out of deal. Well, you know what? He's like, look, I can go to China and make more money. So look, I think at the end of the day, maybe if he doesn't get his money this year, if he gets to something like an offer, something like that, I think he will have to have that. He'll have to sit and think about that for a minute.
I tend to agree. To agree as well. This is one of those things that they don't come along every day, these types of offers. And regardless of the situation, look, if you were to offer something like this to any of the Ball brothers, they would take it in a heartbeat right now, right?
Yeah, too bad they're blackballed from overseas, too.
Yeah. For, indefinitely, right?
Yeah.
Until, the end of time, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
They've burned so many bridges that I think everyone's lost track at this point.
Uh-huh.
But, yeah, I think Dwayne should seriously look at this, to be honest. I think he should seriously consider it. I guess, really, that's the bottom line. He shouldn't dismiss it maybe too easily. I think that's the biggest thing.
Do you think
3 years, $25 million.
But do you think it puts a damper on his career and what he's done, though?
No, I don't. And I guess that's really my point here, is that it shouldn't, because everything he's done up to this point, this, to me, would be strategically a business move, business decision. I don't think to me, it doesn't change anything away. It didn't take anything away what he did in the past. No one's ever going to take away those rings that he won at the beginning of his career, and then what he won in the middle of it when LeBron and Chris Bosh came to town. So, no, I don't think so at all. I don't think it diminishes it. I don't think decisions that players make, whether it be players at the end of this career, i.e. Michael Jordan decides to go to the Washington Wizards, LeBron here deciding to go to the Los Angeles Lakers, I don't think those type of decisions or anything like it in any way change what players have done in the past. To me, the past is the past. History is history. It doesn't change because of what might happen down the line. Same goes for players with off-the-field incidents, and we've seen this across sports. Take Tiger Woods, for example, who we'll get into here in just a bit. Everything that's happened with him in his life off the golf course, to me, has no bearing on what he's accomplished in the past on the golf course or what he's going to accomplish here coming up in the near future. And I think most fans, sports fans overall, agree with that, because just look at the ratings at the British Open on the final round on Sunday. I think that speaks volumes of how people feel about Tiger Woods.
Because
I think that
Woods.
Right, exactly. He, as many
can't play as much. I mean, those things have to come into play if you're going to get somebody like a Dwayne Wade over there. It does up the ante a little bit in terms of their league if they can get him, if they can land him, but I honestly feel right now the state of mind of where Dwayne Wade's at right now, I just don't think that's going to happen. So
we'll see how it plays out. Once again, NBA news continues to dominate the airwaves. I'm telling you, the NBA, Keith, the offseason is becoming like the NFL offseason.
Yes. It's been big. It's been something they're talking about.
I've been talking with so many people about this recently, and I think a lot of people are on board with it, and they agree that it really is becoming like the NFL offseason at this point. The NBA offseason, the free agency, the draft, everything just all kind of wrapped up in one. It's becoming almost a 24/7 thing, and it's just totally taken over baseball. It really is.
It has. It has. But, you know, until playoff time for the baseball teams, you know, this we're going to really start to see. And, you know, just to touch on a little baseball, I mean, man, the Dodgers.
Has the rain stopped?
The rain has stopped. They're still battling right now. But since Manny Machado's been playing, I don't think the Dodgers lost a game yet, right? Or they lost one?
They've been really good. They've lost one. They took 2 out of 3 against Milwaukee over the weekend. They're in the middle of this 10-game road trip right now, and they played very well. The Machado trade, the acquisition of Manny, has just done wonders for this team so far, like we thought it would. And you're seeing that on full display right now. He's the guy they needed. As we talked about last week here on Behind the Mic, give the front office a lot of credit for being aggressive when they probably could have sat back because they were winning and doing okay coming out of that deep 10 games below 500 hole they got themselves in to start this 2018 campaign. Got to give them a lot of credit for being aggressive and getting a guy that they know would help them to get over the top.
Yeah.
We talked about Todd Gurley earlier and all the money he's getting. How about the fact, this is where it's most appropriate. Shell out the money for a guy who, if you're going to win the World Series, if you're going to make the case to me that Manny Machado could be the World Series MVP this year for the Dodgers, yeah, I buy that. I can see that happening.
Yeah.
And if that, to me, I got to ask myself, in sports so many times, it's about, can you answer the question of what you can picture guys doing? Can you picture guys being able to achieve certain things, whether it be short-term or long-term goals for teams? Can you see them, like we talked about before in the NBA draft, looking long-term, DeAndre Ayton, Marvin Bagley, 10 years down the road, who's your franchise guy? It's the same type of thing, I think, in sports so many different times. Doesn't matter what the specific sport is. You got to ask yourself those types of questions. And Manny Machado, great example, a guy I can see being the World Series MVP for them if they were to get there. But again, Todd Gurley, just to fall back to that one because it's the big news today, I love Todd Gurley. I think he's great for the Rams. Going to be a great contributor to this Rams team. But $45 million guaranteed? Come on. No way.
Yeah.
I can't shell out that type of cash, Keith. There's no way. It's Behind the Mic. We're live from Patrick Molloy's Hermosa Beach. We're going to step aside for another break. When we come back, Tiger Woods. We'll talk about it because, as I mentioned before, he was the needle on Sunday, Keith.
Yes, sir.
Everyone was attracted to him and the TV sets. We'll give you our thoughts on it coming up. Behind the Mic. Back after this.
There's a threat targeting America. One that's growing fast, but may still be hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org. Brought to you by the Stephen and Alexandra Cohen Foundation and this station.
Every 17 minutes, Make-A-Wish makes the impossible possible. They tame dragons. They bring Saturn to Earth. They help superheroes save entire cities. They even make unicorns fly. All to give children the strength they need to fight their critical illnesses. Every wish takes muscle. Help us make sure every wish comes true. Join us at wish.org.
We will never fully understand what we've asked of our military service members or their families, asking them to put themselves in harm's way, to endure it all. But we do understand that it's our turn, our duty, to keep them secure for the rest of their lives. Wounded Warrior Project long-term support programs help our most severely ill or injured veterans live independently, at no cost for life, so that they might stand at ease. Join us at findwwp.org.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick and proud aunt. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing. But not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. 1 in 6. That little girl sitting alone at the playground, she can't play like the other kids. She doesn't have the energy because she's hungry. School lunch will be her only meal today. It breaks my heart that this is the reality in our country, but it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. This food is then provided to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about using your imagination, learning, and having fun. These children shouldn't have to miss out on simply being a kid because they're hungry. To find out how you can help end childhood hunger in your community, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Battles aren't won solely on the field. That's a common misconception. Battles are won within, over enemies of fear, enemies of doubt. In that place where promises are kept. Promises to oneself.
This is a physical training event.
Promises to one's community.
Helping people move debris out of their house.
Promises to one's country. In the heart of every Marine, you'll find a promise. A promise forever kept. A promise of battles won.
This is Behind the Mic with Brad Dalius.
Don't forget, it is Taco Tuesday here at Patrick Molloy's Keith, and some of our good friends, the waiters and waitresses. By the way, it's first-class service here. Always has been from day one, continues to be. But some of our good friends who work here were just telling us that the tacos have just only gotten better. I don't know how that's possible, but apparently that's what they just told us. The chicken tacos are just totally off the chain. Fish, shrimp, steak, however you like it, for 99 cents. That's almost hard to believe. It's almost unheard of. 99-cent tacos? Taco Tuesday?
No better than that, man.
I mean, there's good deals usually from different places on Taco Tuesday because so many places do it these days, but not for 99 cents. That's a deal and a half. Yeah. Patrick Molloy's only.
Great food, great drinks. It gets no better than that. Happy hour is fantastic. And like you said, the people here are great, man. It's a great time over here. It's summertime. It's fun. You enjoy it over here. Definitely come down.
Tiger Woods was also having fun on Sunday at the British Open for most of the round. Just like old times, Keith. It was great to see. Everyone was just flocking to their TVs, to their phones to check out what was going on. Social media was buzzing as usual.
I was glued to a TV the whole time. I was seeing what he was doing, Brad. It was so exciting to me. Like you said, it was a great, fantastic.
So close. I mean, just so close. And
so close, man.
The thing was, it all originated on Saturday when you saw where he was after the third round completed. You're like, okay, I guess I'm going to be watching some golf Sunday morning, baby.
You know what's funny? And I was thinking about our show. We were like, who's going to be that dark horse that guy's going to upset or this and that? And kids, you look up at the end of the night and Tiger Woods is like right on the top of the leaderboard. And then going to the first nine, all of a sudden, like after the third, fourth, he's leading. And I'm like, okay, this is it.
Yeah,
this is
the event.
I saw what he did. Let me tell you, man, this was an incredible shot. He shot, I think it was like seventh hole. It was like a par. He got it into the bunker. Shot it into the bunker, Brad. And it was up on the hillside of the bunker. The top end is up bunker. So you're like, oh, man, he's probably going to bogey this shot maybe. He shot that ball straight up, directly way up in the air, and it just dropped right there next to the hole. And it was impressive to see. I was like, it was a typical, like, a Tiger moment. And the people who watch that would know exactly what I'm talking about. And he actually parred that one right there. And when he did that, I was like, oh, Tiger's on today. But that 11th and 12th hole did him in. And
Just
I
a couple of holes this week, and
heartbroken.
That's a great point. What happened there on Sunday? I think back to the first couple rounds when he had a chance to maybe hit a couple more birdies and just missed it by inches. I mean, so close. You talk about game of inches. It was so evident, and he's so close. And you got to give him a lot of credit, though. Each major this year, whether it be the Masters, the U.S. Open, and then at the British this past weekend, he has consistently just improved each time, and that's all you really could ask for. And honestly, where he's at right now, you would think that he's able to put it all together and should be able to win next month at the PGA Championship.
Hey, man, I'll just say it like this. Whatever he did, he used the iron more than he did the driver.
Keep doing that, right?
He needs to keep doing that.
Yeah.
And, look, he got his swag back a little bit. He may have not won, but on the positive, I'll say this on the positive aspect, the 11th and 12th hole hurt him, but, he did end strong on the 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th, and other than the 18th hole, he parred those. And so he ended strong, and it was an emotional interview for him afterwards, and he said that, he tried his hardest, which we all know, and this game is, like you said, is a game of inches. It was a game of inches right here. And he was flowing, man. So I'm hoping that this right here could be a stepping stone for Tiger, and that it can kind of catapult him back to his winning ways that he's used to doing and accustomed to doing. We just want to see that. We want to see that from him, and because he's changed the game, man. And you can see in those guys' faces, the opponents that he was facing, when they saw what he was doing, you could see their faces like stone cold, like, oh my gosh, is Tiger really is he really on the leaderboard right now? Like, it was shocking to them too.
Yeah, it's like old times.
And they had to step up their game a little bit, and I'm going to tell you, if it wasn't for that 11th and 12th hole, man, if he had parred those or birdied one of those, they would have really choked up, because we saw me and my buddy was watching this, and we were like, man, a lot of the opponents that they were playing, it was a lot of choking jobs going on out there.
Yeah, there was.
When they were
you
seeing
got that
they
right.
would look at that leaderboard and see what was going on. They were like, wait a minute, this guy's up here. It's intimidating when you play against Tiger, man. And I'm going to tell you, the next one he plays, and whoever's partnered up with him, if they know what he did in the Open, it's going to be intimidating for them. It's going to be intimidating for him if Tiger can start.
Nothing's changed from that perspective, right? Doesn't matter that Tiger's gotten older age-wise. People are just as intimidated. He's just as feared, even though guys have said this week that some guys view him more as, as a threat, not so much as being feared. But, he's still there. But the one thing, though, that I think all players can agree on, from what I heard in the press conferences and the interviews coming out of Sunday's final round of the British Open, is that everyone is on Tiger's side. Everyone is rooting for him to do well and to be successful in golf. I think that's really resonated here with a lot of people, that people are really rooting for him and really rooting for him to see him be very successful again.
Yeah. Everybody wants him to be successful, I think, and it's time, man. Time is now. It's now. And he's doing it. So I think it's a building block, it's a stepping stone. I think he, like any golf player, they go back and review them shots and see where they messed up at. And, he's a professional. He's going to do well. I'm excited for him. It was an exciting golf event to actually watch and witness and see him tee off. And, I missed that, and hopefully I can see a lot more of that in these few coming months.
The Westgate Las Vegas Superbook has opened Tiger tied for the fourth best odds to win the PGA Championship next month at 16-1. Ricky Fowler and Justin Thomas are also at 16-1. Again, this should be, once again, stepping stones from the first three majors of 2018. You would think he could take that one final step and put it all together for the PGA Championship. But even if he doesn't win it next month, Keith, he's going to have excellent opportunities to do so in 2019. Because if you look ahead for a second, the Masters course at Augusta never changes. It's the same every single year.
Yeah.
You've got the U.S. Open next year at Pebble Beach, up by the Bay Area in San Francisco. Of course, he's won before, familiar with. So there's going to be opportunities next year, even if he doesn't win, like I said, next month at the PGA. that courses he's familiar with, that if he continues to play consistently, he's going to be right there in the mix, what he wants to do. So, again, we've talked about this so much, but with golf, it's just any given weekend, and it doesn't matter your long dry spells. It could be 10 months or 10 years. It only takes one event to win, and sometimes that can trigger something. I believe that he's got number 15 in him for sure. And again, I still don't. Something tells me in the back of my mind that it's not impossible for him to win a couple more.
No.
And to tie potentially Jack Nicklaus's 18. I still think it's in reach at some point here.
Yeah.
And it's not insurmountable.
I have to say this. He showed me that he's not done yet. He's still got a lot of golf in him left. So, as long as he stays focused on what he's doing and he can continue to build, it's a step. It's a stepping stone. That's all it is. It's taking baby steps. And he can get back to those ways, he's going to be fine.
That's what it takes, right?
Yep.
Hey, that's going to do it for tonight's show. A great one here at Patrick Molloy's. Great crowd on hand. Don't forget, once again, Taco Tuesday. And also the Dodgers and the Phillies continue to battle in the elements in Philadelphia. It's a Stu tied at 4, Keith, as they play in the bottom of the 11th. 2 outs there in Philly. Definitely got to keep tabs on that one as they go along. But the Dodgers playing well right now with Manny Machado. We'll talk more about them tomorrow night over at the one and only Grunion Sports Bar on Sepulveda Boulevard in Manhattan Beach. Until then, have a great night. Thanks for tuning in. For Keith, I'm Brad. Keep living the dream.